Without wasting your time, we are going to share top 5 best Ethernet switch. The product links are in the description and in first comment. The number 5 on the list is Netgear Port Gigabit Ethernet. Netgear Port Gigabit Ethernet. I am stuck with a combination modem and router. You guessed it, more devices than ports. What to do? I started checking out the different brands and configurations. For a few dollars more I could bet all kinds of whiz-bang devices and options. Wait, what was that I needed? Oh, ports, no high speed, no complex managed. Just ports without a complex setup. This critter did the job. It is compact and worked out of the box without more than just plugging in. It works so well that I do not use the router ports except one to transfer to this Netgear Port Gigabit Ethernet unmanaged switch. It may be my imagination, but all the devices even that seem to work better. I am using Silicon Dust Home Run Scribe Duo OTA DVR recorders that each take a port and plan on Silicon Dust HD Home Run Servo expansion adds hours TV recording. Yay, another port had to get it a gigabit switch when my series kept disconnecting and lagging from my gigabit router. Best decision ever. Ran a Ethernet to my gaming command center and have my Nintendo series and gaming PC all hooked up. I can't get up 2 per second on the PC, so I will say it as true to the if you get the right cat cords. Feels heavy and sturdy too, which I like. Works as described, using it for expanding devices that is connected to the network and router, since the router only has so many connections on the back or the side depending on your internet provider. At least the green lights lets you know what is connected to the internet and how fast the connection is. The amount of flashing light by the connection. I would recommend this to a friend. The number 4 on the list is Netgear Nighthawk. Netgear Nighthawk. I needed to replace my old Linksys that was 6 years old and beginning to drop the channel at random times during the day. I picked this router due to the high ratings in Consumer Reports, plus my local Best Buy had it in stock. This is an outstanding router, very fast with a strong signal, and the Nighthawk phone app is amazing as well. But here's a very important installation tip. At first I couldn't get it to connect to my modem. No internet. All of my connected Ethernet cables were recognized immediately, but the internet LED kept blinking orange. I swapped out cables between the router and my modem, reset the modem. I played with it for an hour and a half. Nothing worked, so I made a call to my provider, Xfinity Tech Support. An amazing tech at Xfinity, who just happened to have the same router, told me that I needed to change the default factory password, which was password before it would connect. Apparently that is a security concern with Netgear, but that step wasn't mentioned anywhere in the documentation, which was sparse to begin with. Once I did that, it came to life. This thing is incredible. I'm now getting speeds like never before, and the signal meter on my phone is a solid around my house, even if I go out to the backyard. Last night I ran a speed test on my Surface Pro, which is in my living room a floor below. It registered a blazing. I'm on a plan with Xfinity that is just incredible for a signal. My old Linksys router never even got to, even if I used it. Also comes with a feature called Smart Connect, which automatically detects each device and determines which ones should be connected to the channel and which ones. The number 3 on the list is unmanaged PoE network switches. Unmanaged PoE network switches. It's difficult to choose the best Ethernet switches suitable for your network from the abundance of available Ethernet switches on the market. Some may prefer a managed Ethernet switch, while others won't need anything above an unmanaged or smart Ethernet switch. So, in order to make the process simple, I have divided the article into 3 main sections. The first addresses the best unmanaged Ethernet switches, which are more suitable for home use or for small business networks. The second section covers the best web-managed Ethernet switches, which are also suitable for home use tech enthusiasts and for small to medium business networks. And the third section addresses the best managed Ethernet switches, which, as expected, are going to be used in an enterprise environment. Medium to large businesses. An Ethernet switch is a networking device that connects a large variety of devices like cameras, computers, and even other switches into a common network, and it uses the packet switching technology to receive, process, and eventually forward the data to the destination. Client network switches are commonly used to create a business network, especially devices with lots of ports, But there is also an increasing tendency to include switches into a home network, especially since surveillance cameras have gotten so much more popular on the market. You can find switches that use physical addresses for data processing and forwarding at the layer of the model, but there are also layer switches that, besides all the features of a switch, have routing functionality. So similarly to some traditional routers, they're capable of hardware-based packet switching also. Let's not forget the multi-gigabit switches, which are getting far more popular. The number 2 on the list is 10-port gigabit. 10-port gigabit. I couldn't believe the price on these switches. They seemed too cheap to work. Well, I read the reviews and couldn't find a reason not to purchase them. When the switches arrived, I busted out my magnifying glass to read the extremely small print on the installation instructions. The instructions and the company website show that the Ethernet cable from the router should be connected in port on the port switch and on the port switch. I bought one of each and connected them according to the directions. I was so excited to see if mine would match what I was getting when plugged directly into the ISP router. Nope. When wired directly when connected through the switch, I swapped cables back and forth. To do more testing, I searched online for explanations. I went to the company website looking for support but could not find anything other than what was provided on the tiny installation documentation. Then I found a YouTube video of an unboxing of this switch from Digital David. He explained how the switch worked and how nice it looked. He didn't go into much detail about installing, but on the second time watching it, I paused and looked at his switch. He had the Ethernet cable connected to port rather than port. That was all I needed. I ran to the switch, swapped the cables to reflect what I had seen in the video, and bam, my speeds through the switch were the same as when connected directly to the router. I pay Frontier for up and down, and you can see by the pics that's exactly what I'm getting and then some. So if you order this, don't follow the directions, plug that router cable into port and let it rip. How they can offer this so inexpensively is beyond my comprehension. I bought these 2 switches with my own money and was not given anything for writing this review. That's how impressed I am. What are you waiting for? Toss a couple of these in your basket now. Very simple. The number 1 on the list is Cisco Business. Cisco Business. Cisco offers a wide range of business phone systems. Cisco's systems can be hosted in the cloud or on premises, are easily configured for businesses with multiple locations and support thousands of employees. All of Cisco's unified communications systems can be configured specifically with the calling, mobility and collaboration feature and enterprise needs. Additionally, the systems offer contact center services. Our previous research looked specifically at the Business Edition system. This is an on-premises system. For our purposes, we asked for pricing for a business with about users. For this system, we were provided price estimates of one-time charges that started at about per user. This was for the basic service without any of the added application. We were told to expect the price to increase by per user for every added component. Added components include those for integrated voice, messaging, human operator attendance, instant messaging, presence and online meetings. We were given pricing estimates of about per user for a system that includes everything Cisco offers. There are also installation and training costs to consider to have the system professionally installed and training conducted by the reseller who worked with us. We were told to expect costs to be between and of the total per user fees.